All right, here we go, kicking off the first GTP podcast that we got going on here. So, yeah, excited for everybody to join us here, or anybody that checks this out later on. This is going to be a podcast that's pretty much just dedicated to all things gaming or tech and gaming. We want to be able to talk about everything here that we might be interested in. With that being said, too, we're going to try to keep this podcast around an hour long most of the time. So by no means will we be covering everything, but we're definitely going to pick some things we're interested in every week and talk about it here. So this week we're going to dive into Dying Light 2 just a little bit because that's a game we're both passionate about. I'll be introducing my partner here in just a second. And we're going to dive into some Forbidden West stuff, people not being happy about that being on last gen. We're going to touch on cloud gaming because that's something that I do a lot here on the channel as well, and we'll try to include that every week, especially if something's going on. And then for the end, we're going to do some E3 stuff. I want to talk about the schedule and some things that we might want to see there because that's coming up next week, so should be interesting. And over here, we've got my buddy Joe. We've been really good friends for a long time. We've done a ton of gaming together, and I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about what he's been up to because he also does some streaming and stuff over on Twitch.
All right, guys, welcome to the podcast. This is super exciting. I've been watching a lot of them lately, at least one every Saturday. But my name's Joe. On Twitch and Twitter, I'm Jojo Narak. It's right here. And I'm just a gamer at heart, man. Like, I love to game. Like, for the first time in my life, I've got the consoles. Like, I'm very much local, but I love where gaming's going, and it's just a great time to be a gamer.
Yeah, and you just hit affiliate on Twitch, right?
And yes,
So
I just hit my last stream. Gave me affiliate, so I'm starting out, but I'm starting out well. I have a lot of really cool people that I play with. It's that's one fun thing about gaming. You just meet so many cool people. So
yeah, even with all the craziness going on, there's still a lot of groups of just really, really good people in all the different gaming communities, and it's great to run into them all the time. So, what we're going to do is kind of roll right into it. So, we're going to start with Dying Light 2. And there's a ton of games that you could really dive into, but this is one we've been talking about lately that is really a day one grab for us, even if I wasn't going to test it on the channel. Yeah, the hours we spent
oh,
with Dying Light, the original, it was an amazing game. By far my favorite zombie horror survival type game
and I
for
mean,
me.
just real quick, when they threw out the DLC to free to everybody who already had the game, like that was super huge.
Yeah,
Huge shout out to the devs there with that move.
Hey everyone.
yeah,
Before we start,
absolutely.
some time.
And so
Since
they came out with
last
this
time,
gameplay
we
video,
had some unforeseen hurdles to clear.
and it kept me
But
pretty hyped for the
it is over.
game. But I think we were talking about earlier,
Let's
you always
start
have some
with the
concerns,
overall
right? When you're going
Dying
into
Light
a sequel for a game that you loved so much.
Looks so
Yeah,
awesome.
the parkour is pretty sick, and the first game had that a lot, but they're really leaning on it. They're leaning on it pretty hard with this one.
Well, that's the one thing that kind of made this game stand out a little bit from the other zombie games was like when they let you do free roam. You weren't free roaming in between the buildings. You were free roaming in through the on top.
Yeah,
Like you were everywhere on your map, and wow, just
yeah,
it was a very well
smooth
done game.
movement. Yeah, smooth movement. Just it was never jarring. Everything flowed really well in the game, and I think that's one of the reasons why so many people liked it so well. Because I mean, let's face it, you're running from zombies, and when you're in games that feel clunky, it just I don't like that in a lot of zombie games. So this game's very fluid, very smooth. The movement's great, and it looks like they're going to keep that going with this one. But it's the story and the upgrades and the loot and the things that I more worry about because we see a lot of games that come out and they just kind of don't follow the formula that everybody already loved. So I do have some concerns that their ambition here is huge. Like the city's supposed to change depending on the things that you do, and you're going to be growing your base and things like that. So there's a lot more going on than in the first Dying Light. What do you think? Is that going to add to it more? Is that going to make it better? Or are you a little concerned that they may try to be too ambitious with the game?
So I mean, I've seen games just add too much and go horribly wrong. Mech Assault.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Lone
it
Wolf,
still breaks my heart, man.
aging ourselves, aging ourselves. Good with that game.
But I've also seen games like do it really well. I mean, like, look at, I don't play it a whole lot, but look at the Division 2. Look what they did with that.
Yeah.
Like that I would say was a successful sequel right there.
Yeah.
And like there's always going to be that worry, you know.
And another one, underrated as can be, Titanfall 2, both the campaign and the multiplayer, way better than the first game. And that's another one where they came back and listened and really did things right. So it's really hard to tell. But from what I've seen so far, this is definitely one of the games this year that I'm most excited for. I think also because it's just been so long that we've been waiting for the sequel. So
Oh yeah, they've they were, I believe they were fairly small dev when they came out with the first
yeah,
Dying Light, weren't they?
yeah, Techland was, Dying Light really helped push them, even farther. The DLC was fantastic. So the support that game got, it still gets support now. I mean, there's still a lot of people playing Dying Light. It still gets patches and support and stuff. So it makes me pretty confident to grab this up and invest in it, knowing that, Techland has done such a good job in the past. So
Yeah, I know. It's so sad. I have a Series S, and I have my Dying Light disc.
yeah, I still have my Dying Light disc sitting right over here too.
So,
So
but I'm very much looking forward to Dying Light 2. Like it's, yeah.
yeah, definitely, me too. All right, so let's figure this out as we go here. It's not gonna be super. It's not gonna be super smooth, but we got it.
Be gentle.
I'm not gonna do audio with this one. So, all right, moving along quickly and easily. We know Dying Light 2 should be awesome. Let me bring this in for a minute. So, this is what I really was more interested to talk about today because there's some stuff going on around this game. Horizon Forbidden West. Now, I don't think either one of us beat the first game, even though we both want to, and I'm probably going to go back and just about beat it because I am going to be playing this game. But what they showed here was graphically impressive, and the gameplay looked great. But it was also scripted, almost. I mean, a lot of the videos I make on the channel, you kind of know what you're going to do ahead of time, and it's a little bit scripted. So I still don't know a lot about the gameplay. You were talking about underwater gameplay. And what kind of things they might do there. So, she swam for like ever in this trailer too, like in this gameplay trailer, like.
And I mean, you see that really cool monster that swims by, like when it comes up. Spoiler alert! Sorry, anybody. You're about to see it anyway. But like, underwater combat can be tricky. It can definitely be tricky, but I feel like we've seen that done right a lot lately to where, they can get it right. But, as a Monster Hunter fan and doing some Monster Hunter underwater fights, I still get a little sketched out by that.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Assassin's Creed Odyssey had a lot of underwater stuff you would do, and they nailed that pretty good. It wasn't always perfect, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, way better than Maneater. Like, that's all underwater, right? Except for when you jump out, and that was clunky. I love the game. We both beat it, but it was clunky sometimes, like underwater with that, trying to combat and eat fish and tail whip them and everything else.
Oh, yeah. There's times where you just lose yourself completely.
Right.
Like, just, what am I doing? Where am I at?
So this is the PS5 version they were showing here, and look at the hair. And Gamer TV from the other podcast as well, he was talking about like when she goes underwater too, just the detail in everything. He's looking at particle effects and the hair and the individual strands and things that are going on. Obviously looking really good on PS5, but as there are people upset that you're going to be able to play this game on PS4 and PS4 Pro. So I don't personally mind that. I want more people to be able to play the game. Honestly, the big issue people have with this is that it can hold back the game because it's going to be on older hardware. But I don't know. Before I go farther, what are you thinking about this?
You know what? I can understand people being concerned. Like, oh, if this game can run on PS4, is it being held back on my PS5?
Mm.
I understand that, and I understand concern, but like to just instantly be like, oh, the game's not even out yet. You don't even know.
Right.
You might be talking about like a PS4 version versus a PS5 version, which is what Sony's been doing with certain games. And, I mean, look at this trailer. It looks amazing. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to look this good on a PS4, even a
Uh,
PS4 Pro.
No, and you see these things with Xbox as well, because Series S to Series X and One X and One S and stuff. The console, the hardware does make a difference. Developers are getting even better and better at not just making the same game for all the consoles, just because they're really pushing and trying to give upgrades to next gen consoles, which is nice to see. And also, the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S are closer to PC than consoles have ever been before, so it's easier for them to start to implement these graphical improvements to next gen. So I don't feel like it holds things back as much as it used to in the past. And right here, this looks, I mean, it's not going to look like that on last gen. It's going to look good,
It
trust me,
looks
because
awesome.
PlayStation exclusives look good. But yeah, it looks awesome, and I don't have a big concern. For me, if PS4 people can buy this game, that's millions of more copies that could be sold, because the restraints on hardware, like you can't get a PS5, it's so difficult. If they can't sell enough copies of this game, how are they going to make enough money to make you the next one? And they've got to make the proper business decisions and get as many people to play the game, buy the game, and bring in the profit, because that's how they're going to continue in the future. So if the game looks like this when it comes out, I don't think it's really being held back. That's pretty nuts right there.
And I mean, you got to figure too, like, it's not like PS5s are sitting on the shelves collecting dust. Like, I don't
No.
think a PS5 has sat on a shelf, like, until somebody owns it. But, like, it just, I think it's a move of, let's not make a game exclusive to a console like this, when we can't catch up to our demand on consoles. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Demon Souls, I mean, they gotta have something. They do have to have something, and that I believe you can get the PS3 version on your PS4 if you really
Yeah.
want to play it. So,
And technically, Demon Souls is still one of the best looking games out, even though it's not next gen. It is on the PS5. It's gorgeous, absolutely. But yeah, I think this will be good. My big thing is I just wish it was a PC launch as well, day one. Now I knew it would not be when this was coming, this event was coming, because they got to, I get it with the consoles. That's how Sony rolls. It probably will come eventually. I know Uncharted 4 is supposed to still come to PC. Days Gone came. The first Horizon came. The Walking Simulator game came. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll come to PC eventually. But you could be looking at well over a year. I mean, based on what Sony's been doing before you see that. So it's good that it's going to be on PS4 as well, because getting a PS5, like even Sony has said, it could be into next year before the supply straightens up. So,
and also, what if they pull? I don't think they will. I think they're going for sales, but I've seen hints at this possibly releasing on PS Now.
oh, that would be, see, that's something that
And
we,
that's to me is extreme hearsay, so don't take that as,
right.
hey. However, I have seen some things to where I feel like Sony is trying to mold PS Now into something better.
Yeah, and they almost have to. Game Pass is on fire. And even though xCloud isn't technically where it needs to be yet, I mean, that's added to Ultimate for free. And we all know Microsoft is coming really hard for cloud. We'll be talking about that more here in just a little bit, about when we get to E3. But yeah, they have to do something. And the biggest thing we've been saying is, Sony, it wouldn't kill you. Just please put the exclusives on PS Now, leave them there. The subscriptions will continue to go up. I think there's like 3 million PS Now subscribers or something like that, which isn't bad, but there's like 24 million Game Pass subscribers for a reason. And Sony's really going to have to capitalize on that eventually. I know there are people out there that would say they don't need to. They're fine with their consoles and their exclusives, but the gaming world's changing, and you're seeing cloud, take off more here and there. You're seeing people want subscription models that give them more games for less money. So Sony's bound to start embracing this, and they have said PS Now is going to get like a a revamp of some kind. So I think that could be coming soon.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm just getting
it looks
lost in this
good, right?
trailer. It looks so awesome. Like,
Yeah, it looks smooth. It looks good. I'm wondering what the resolution and frame rate and stuff's going to be because, of course, that's my thing. I'm going to want to know all that. But yeah, it looks good. The
Yeah, I
video
mean, I
on YouTube looks 30 FPS. So I don't know if it's a 4K 30 or if it just looks that way. But
I mean, I played, you know, I'd say about 10 hours of the first one. And
yeah,
I didn't stop playing it because I wasn't having fun. I just, you know, like I was playing so much. Like
yeah. There's so many games, man, and we try to play so many of them. It's tough.
it's just it's on the backlog.
You see the amount of like just particle that leaves. There's going to be like things you see in this version that you're not going to see as much. The world really is looking nice in here, but I don't want to get lost in the trailer. All right.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a great game. You know, the fact that it's coming to PS4, yeah, it's a business move because if you look at the amount of PS5s that they have sold, you know, it
Right.
is a lot, but you know, it's nowhere near where it could be if the demand was there. So I think it's more of a business move to put it on PS4 and appease to more people.
True.
And you know, if you have a PS5 and you get it, you're going to get that PS5 experience. Don't
Right.
worry about what PS4 is doing. You have your 5.
Yeah, exactly. And as supply gets better, I mean, we're just in there, and it's with PC, you've got like yearly upgrades, and of course that stuff's been a joke to get, and we'll probably dive into that stuff on another time. But with console, when they come out, you typically, unless there's a mid-gen upgrade, you look at 5 to 7 years. So even if it takes 6 months, 9 months, whatever, to get your hands on a PS5, if you have a PS4, you can get one used or for a good price. There's still a lot of games you're going to be able to play while you're waiting to get in on that. So, but speaking of which, right, we wanted to shift into a little bit of cloud. So let me see what we got here. They added The Witcher 3, Sonic Team Racing, Sonic Mania, Sonic Forces, Virtual Fighter 5, Car Mechanic Simulator, and Slay the Spire. They dropped all those for the June 1st games right into PS Now, which means you can stream these on PC at 1080p, or you can stream them on your console, or most of them you can also download on your console and play the full version looking the way it's supposed to. So I think that's pretty good for them. What are you thinking about those?
I respect
Sonic's
I respect the
everywhere.
marketing. I respect the marketing because I'm sure you know, if you're on Twitter, you know that there was a tweet. Who's the more known character, Zelda or Sonic? And of course, you know, everybody who thinks Zelda is Link said Zelda.
Oh my god, yeah. No.
And here we go with 3 Sonic games. Like,
Yeah. No, people still get that confused with Zelda and Link. It's hilarious.
so you know, good job with the marketing. Witcher 3 is always a win. It doesn't matter what it's on, where it's on. That's another like Outer Scrolls,
Right.
Skyrim. That's another Skyrim right there. Like, you'll see that game get remastered, I'm sure, a few times. You know, I'm sure they'll work on a Witcher 4, but you know, that
I'll
that's
tell you.
that's that's a classic.
Yeah. CD Projekt Red is in some trouble right now after The Witcher, and the trouble keeps piling on. Or I mean, after the Cyberpunk. So we'll see what they do. Right now, Witcher 3 is the best game they've got out. What was interesting about Sonic here, these 3 games too, and I don't know if you saw it, but there was a Sonic event a day or two before these games came out, before the June games. And in that Sonic event, they revealed a bunch of new Sonic games and stuff, and they really hit on cloud. They said PS Now specifically, these new Sonic games are coming day one. So that means cloud on PC and on the console. And from what I hear, PS Now coming to mobile soon. And then also Luna getting day one new Sonic games. So Sega is embracing the cloud and announcing that they're coming day one. They haven't said anything for Game Pass or xCloud or anything yet, but the fact that they said that and then these 3 Sonic games showed up, the support and the love for cloud is obviously there when it comes to Sega and Sonic right now. They want those games everywhere.
I mean, why wouldn't it be like Sega Channel? That was the
Uh,
first
it,
cloud gaming ever,
Luna
right?
needs the Sega channel. Yeah, because it did exist before. Exactly.
You
We
know,
always say we want to
so
see that.
you know that like it's really cool to see them embrace the cloud gaming, and you know, just to throw it out there, you know, like they've never been one, you know, very successful with consoles anyway.
Right.
Like they are, but they aren't. Like, you know, I
Don't take me back to
love
my
the
Sega
Sega
Dreamcast.
Genesis. The Genesis for me
The
was
Gen.
the golden
Yeah.
golden console.
Yeah, no, the Genesis was good, but I don't know, man. I just had this love for the Sega Dreamcast, and then they snatched it away from me so quickly after it came out, and it was so sad. I really love that. Actually, that console is what got me into playing football on console so much. The NFL 2K or whatever they had back then.
Yeah,
It's really good.
I played it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was good. All right, let's stop that one. All right, we got another one we want to pop up here. So xCloud, right? I put up a video of, let's see if I can bring this up here. So, a little hard to see here, but I made a video of Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries running on xCloud because when they announced this game back on May 18th for Game Pass, it was console only. So when it showed up in the cloud, I was completely surprised. And the game has optimization issues on PC as it is, but it still does pretty good when you get into DLSS and everything else. But on the Series S and the Series X, there's huge frame rate drops and issues right now. Like on the Series S, you'll go down to 20 frames per second in a battle. Sometimes you can see it in the video I made, and down into the 30s on the Series X. And there's just no reason for that. It's more game related. So when I saw it go into the cloud, which is like a 1S blade, like last gen, not even a mid-gen upgrade, I was super concerned. Really concerned.
Oh,
but
man,
it's in there, and it's playable.
You know what? It's available, but I remember when I got my gaming PC hooked up, I had my 1S, and I just couldn't go back to it. I really, I had a lot of trouble. There was so much noticeable difference, and that's just with a 1660 video card. That's wasn't even a 20 series. So, Series S blades, until they get upgraded, xCloud's going to look a little rough. And
Yeah.
I've said it before, the only worry I have about that, I'm not necessarily a cloud gamer myself, but I love gaming. I want to see gaming grow, everywhere. Let it
Right.
go, all of it. But I don't want people to think that that's the cloud gaming experience right now. For the first
No.
time, they're going to dip their toe in and be like, I don't like this. You know what I mean? That's my only concern with them in their current state.
Yeah. So the interesting thing with xCloud right now, and they're clearly in the beta data gathering improvement phase until they release the Series X blades. It's not going to be a service that, number one, you could have standalone, as a separate subscription. That won't happen until then. But also, a lot of the games they're 30 FPS, and the stream may be 1080p 60 on PC, which looks way better than it used to. The game's running on those old blades, and Microsoft knows it. It's rough. Now, some of the games run better than others. I just about played through the original Gears of War again on there because that game actually ran so well. But then there's other games like SnowRunner that were horrible. MechWarrior 5, the latency was great. The game was super playable, but it looked like playing Doom or Wolfenstein on Switch. The resolution was down so low that it looked like a Switch port. Now, if you're on a phone, you might not notice as much, but if you go check out that video, it's just, you can't make out the faces. It's really bad on the resolution, which they had to do for that hardware, and they had to make it run good in the cloud. But I was just really surprised when I saw that game over there. I was even more surprised that it was actually pretty much playable. But cloud for everybody, it depends on where you live too, because somebody else, you could load it up at your house and say, it wasn't playable and it was horrible, and I could do the same thing here. For me, Conan in the cloud was horrible. I couldn't play it at all, but they'll get there. They'll get there with it.
Oh yeah, just let them do their thing. They're just starting off. They're a big fish hopping into this pool now, and they're not quite ready yet. Honestly, it's I don't think I have access to it yet myself. So again, I don't do a lot of cloud gaming myself, but it is still limited as well. So
That's right. You didn't even get an invite yet, or you can't even when you tried to log in. That's crazy.
been
That is
subscribed to
nutty.
them with Game Pass Ultimate since day
Right.
one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's crazy. I got in by trying to log in every day, but I still never actually got an official invitation. I just wound up getting in, and I've always been able to since. So it's weird. I know other people too that are still waiting, and they're super frustrated. But I tell everyone the same thing. It's fun to play with and to try out. But if you're serious about cloud gaming, like I know a lot of people are, it's just not there yet. You're not missing out yet anyway. Just it will be. And I think probably by the end of the year, possibly. And we'll dive into that a little bit more with the E3 stuff too. So let's grab Luna. Now, you don't have access to Luna yet either, do you?
I do not have access to Luna.
I will have to make sure you can get
it's
in if we need you to.
Oh yeah, I'll be. I've been keeping my eye on it because it interests me to see yet another big company dip their toe into gaming, and that's why I say it's a great time to be a gamer. Like look at these big dogs trying to get in on something that they see as successful.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just awesome to see. When I get a chance, I will try it. I'm pretty sure I've dabbled in most things. There's maybe a few that I haven't tried out yet, but
Right.
I've at least dabbled in most. So when the time comes, I will definitely be checking this out. But it's also cool to see what they're doing. Adding the games and making the channels. Like it looks very user friendly.
Yeah, yeah, the UI's come along well. The games that they're adding have been great. Yeah, a lot of them aren't, brand new games, but the ones they're bringing are ones that people are interested in. Trails of Cold Steel 4 was a new release, not that long ago. The Luna Plus channel right now is $5.99 for us in the US, and the amount of games are pretty nutty that you can play now. When it first came out, it didn't feel quite as much so, but they've really done a good job of adding them in. I really thought I could break apart.
I see Abzu on there. I love. It's
Yeah,
a very indie game, but it's actually very, very, very pretty. It's a very
yeah,
pretty game.
very. So it is. It is. There's a lot of pretty games that I never have time to mess with. Abzu being one of them for sure. But yeah, Luna is they're on a good path with it, and kind of like Game Pass and some other stuff. It's a slow go with them. They're slowly getting there. Over on the CGX podcast that I do every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, plug for CGX. That's my guys over there. We do a great show every Saturday. It's
Yeah, they
all
do.
cloud. It's all cloud. And look, I cover a lot of cloud on my channel because I love it, but CGX is the cloud channel. I'm just going to say I love them. They're great over there. So definitely check me out. But also for cloud, you got to dive in. They get into services I haven't even heard of, and they keep up with news that my eyes are burning before I can even get that far. So, all right, so yeah, no, Luna's doing good now. Something interesting Gamer TV brings up, and this is such a big thing that could be for Luna, is the Prime subscribers that Amazon has, right? So if you wanted everyone to try Luna, you turn that on for a weekend. Here you go, 100 and how many? 140 million. Gamer TV would know. I'll shout people out when I'm saying things they say, so I'm never stealing what you say. But he would know. It's like 140, 150 million. It's a lot. And imagine if just a little percentage of those people tried it out. You just switch it on for the weekend. Here, give it a shot. They have a lot of power when it comes to an existing base that would be willing to jump into that.
Hell, look at a lot of people cutting the cord. A lot of those people
Yeah.
have a Fire TV stick, or all the people have Amazon Prime to shop, and all of a sudden you make this available to them, even if they don't use it. But like, let's say they have some family, some nephews, some nieces, they come over. Hey, we're bored. It's a rainy day.
Right.
You can't go anywhere. Something's going on. You can't go anywhere. Oh, I got this subscription. Here, check this out. And then all
Yep.
of a sudden, now you have, maybe you've also turned the nieces and nephews onto this as well. It could spread easily like that. They just got to
Yeah.
market it the right way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I know, Holtz from over on CGX and Ace. They were good at getting friends and family member in. Here's a Chromecast Ultra. Here's a controller. Or you don't need it, and getting people into Stadia and cloud gaming that way. And then that opened the door, and they became interested in XCloud and Luna and GeForce Now. And it's great because how many of us subscribe to just one TV service? Just one. I bet probably nobody that watches this, whoever may watch this, it's not going to be, okay? Netflix, Disney, Hulu. There's Apple TV stuff. It goes on and on and on and on. Most people have more than one, right? Same thing with cloud gaming, especially as subscriptions get to the point where you're getting a lot, for that subscription. You're going to be willing to hop around and subscribe 1 month and not the other, and that type of thing. GeForce Now. This is one of the other cloud gaming platforms you've actually spent some time with. You've used it to help you stream on Twitch because of computer power and things like that. Everybody knows that GeForce Now is one of my favorite cloud gaming services because I do have a big PC library. It's where we do a lot of gaming, and I just think it's a great companion. I don't think it's a great standalone service, but everybody knows I don't think any cloud gaming is necessarily a great standalone. They don't offer enough. They don't offer every game I would play. But GeForce Now, what's been your experience with this? How has it helped you out when it comes to like trying to stream a game that your PC can't like stream at the same time as running?
It's been pretty good, man. Like I love Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is by far, my love-hate relationship, and
Right.
you know, uh, it's I don't know, I can't say enough about it. But anyway, um, I sit there and I wanted to stream it on Twitch from my PC because I was still dealing with the 1S, and I just didn't want to go back to it. And my PC, I was skipping like so many frames per minute, on my stream quality, and that's when
Right.
I looked into GeForce Now, threw Destiny up on there. Now I can't do the PvP too well
Yeah.
through cloud.
It's
Those
used to PC, man.
oof.
It is what it is. When you're playing over
Those
100 frames, 120,
those
150,
milliseconds count, man. They
yeah,
really do.
milliseconds and frames. Especially when you're being competitive in Destiny 2 or Modern Warfare or Black Ops, whatever it is. Yeah, I agree. It's not
However,
enough.
this particular stream, I did some Destiny 2 raiding, which it was perfect for. When you're doing some PvE, you can give up that millisecond because,
Yeah.
everything's fairly predictable. So, once you get into a groove, you're good at that point.
Now that raid
Uh,
was like over 3 hours, wasn't it?
hmm
Yeah. So you didn't get kicked once.
No, no,
You were in,
no.
yeah, you were in
It
for over
worked
three
really
hours
well.
on a raid in Destiny 2 on GeForce Now. That's awesome because you just never know with cloud, man. You never know. I love it. I think cloud's got a huge future. As a tech nerd, I dive into it all the time. I just think it's amazing technology. It's so much fun,
I
but it
also
really does
uh,
have a ways to go.
I also did Spider-Man when I didn't have a PlayStation as
Yeah,
well.
man.
Streamed that.
PS Now, right?
So,
Spider-Man. When we yeah,
the cloud gaming could be, also looked at as, stepping stones into content creation, because if you don't have the hardware to run, these games that, you want to create the content in, or, whatever the case may be,
right.
it could easily be that little transition to, oh, here's what I can do with less.
Yeah. And we highlighted that yesterday when we showed Luna's YouTube page. And it's all small streamers they've been supporting and getting that out to them. So they were actually using Luna and streaming, and that was really cool to see. And it also helps them out because that's easier for them to run. Now, there is an issue, and I'm just going to bring it up. We didn't talk about it much before. This right here. So this game I'm loving it. I haven't really talked to you about it much yet. Knockout City has been my game. Loving Biomutant as well, but Knockout City I just can't stop. But I've been playing this as well. This is like Hitman but sniper. I mean, it feels great. The game's optimized for PC, really good. I just put out a couple of videos for this today, but this was supposed to be a Friday release for GFN. It's been offline. It's never been
Ooh.
available, unfortunately. This is also one of the first games that got the GeForce Now logo, like before launch a few weeks ago, like it was on their webpage. And it wasn't even announced. And it was Marchief over at CGX that said, this has the logo, I believe it was. And I looked, I'm like, wow, that's like one of the first games to have that and like so soon. And we still just can't play it. So GeForce Now is one of my favorite services, but, you know, people plan to play games on certain services.
You
And,
can't
think
you can't botch releases, man.
right.
Like if
Things
somebody's
happen,
looking
but
forward to that, like don't don't botch the
it's a
release.
gut punch every time someone is, looking forward to it. And, I was definitely looking forward to playing the game through GeForce Now as well, but I've been using Shadow a lot. We'll get into that on another podcast. I got some things planned for us in the future. We're going to dive into some interesting things with Shadow and with cloud in general, because me and you have so much experience with local gaming, and now with cloud, it's going to be interesting for us to go through.
I will say, like I've mentioned that I've dabbled. Again, I'm more local hardware, but I did play Stadia, some Destiny 2 on Stadia, for
Stadia,
a
boom.
couple games, and I will say the PvP in that, that was manageable. Like I was able to do that. So,
Sometimes things are asked for people, and sometimes they're not. I don't know what to tell you.
hey, it happens.
It does happen, man. I mean, whether it be the library, and sometimes services don't work as well as they do for other people. For me, GeForce Now is almost always flawless. So, but yeah, I think that's a funny one.
But no, like I was playing Destiny on Stadia, doing some PvP, just dabbling around, doing a few strikes. I was just trying it out because it's not for me, but I wanted to try it. I wanted to, see what it was, and I had a really good experience with it. Like I was able to get match made in my strikes. I was able to get
Right.
match made in my PvP. Like it was overall a really good experience, and it's something that I wouldn't hesitate to recommend to somebody who can't have local hardware. Like that was probably my
Yeah.
best cloud gaming Destiny experience right there was through Stadia.
Absolutely. I mean, that is you hit the nail on the head when it comes to the frustration that I have trouble kind of like getting across to people when it comes to Stadia, is because of things like that. Like, you tried it and it worked really well.
Hmm.
I've played a lot of games on there. Like you, most PvP or first person, I can't do so much, but Destiny was great on here. Division 2 is great on here as well, on Stadia. It has a lot to offer, but for me, there's just they have a little ways to go. They came out wanting to compete with console. I realize that vision is now changing, which is good. They need to refocus. They're not being real transparent about it yet, but there are some things going on there. But it's the library isn't there. Consoles and PC get so many games, and that's not just for Stadia. That's for all cloud. But the tech is there. So the question is going to be: is Google going to be serious enough to keep building Stadia just like Xbox did? They almost didn't make it twice with the original Xbox and with the Xbox One. PlayStation had their issues with PS3. Nintendo had their issues with Wii U. I mean, everybody hits problems, and Stadia could overcome them, but I just haven't seen yet if Google is serious about doing that. But I am hopeful that they will, because Stadia right now is still one of the best cloud gaming experiences when you play. I'm not saying the library, I'm not saying some of the other things, especially not the marketing, but the experience, the way the games play most of the time, the tech is there.
And I mean, it takes being in the right place at the right time, one time,
Yeah,
to really really take off, and Stadia hasn't had that moment yet. So, you know,
right, right. No, but they could. It's all kind of unknown right now, but it's definitely interesting that they seem to be plugging along. What concerns me is we're not getting some of the year and year releases here and there that I'd like to see and stuff like that. But they do have Far Cry 6 coming, which you can pre-order, or it'll be included with your Ubisoft subscription for PC, because that goes for Stadia and Luna. So that's really cool. That's another really good deal in gaming. Ubisoft Connect, EA Play Pro, Game Pass. Those are like three of my favorite deals in gaming. You can play so much. So
Game Pass.
Game Pass it's taken over, man. It really is.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
What's up, Ed?
Welcome in, guys.
All right. So, with what we're going to do for basically the rest of the podcast is we'll jump into a little bit of E3, right? Because next week, technically it kicks off Saturday. I'm going to bring up the schedule here for us, a kind of a quick thing here. Look, I'm almost doing all this smoothly. How about that? We're almost E3 schedule, share. There we go. Let's go. So, Saturday is technically the kickoff. For me, it's always been Microsoft's events that kick it off lately, the past few years on Sundays. But they kick off with some press conferences. This is where we're going to have Ubisoft and Gearbox Entertainment. There's been a lot of speculation about what Ubisoft's going to be bringing on day one. And I said yesterday, Skull and Bones is too delayed. It's a game I was super interested that we don't even know if we'll ever see it. It was delayed till next year, but I'm not feeling real confident about that one. Riders Republic, again, today, same as yesterday. It's one of the games I really want to see more gameplay for. Have you seen much on Riders Republic yourself?
I have not seen much on that. No. I can't even speak to it.
It's definitely, I don't have the video ready for it. It's definitely a game you would be, that you would be interested in. But, you know, knowing Ubisoft, what are you thinking? They're going to show what? More Far Cry 6?
Oh yeah, you're gonna get another Far Cry 6 teaser, some gameplay on that. It's fairly close to release, right?
October 7th. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's right around the corner. You're gonna get, more on that. One thing I did look at, it looks like they're planning on, doing some sort of For Honor announcement, and I cannot play For Honor to save my life. However, the game looks great. I wish I could play it, and I know a lot of people do. So that's going to be one of their big ones right there.
Yeah.
And that's another thing they've done really well with that timeline. That game's been going for a while now. They
Yeah.
put that game out a while ago,
It's
so
it's got its following for sure.
I'm
But I'm like
thinking
you. It's a
maybe
little clunky for me. It's
maybe an
gorgeous.
upscale is
Yeah.
it, like I could see them
I
doing something
I
like
know
that.
there's some content on the way and some other things happening, and For Honor's hitting Stadia, so there's definitely some things that are going to be happening. So they're going to show that for sure. Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Hmm.
So everybody's been waiting on that announcement. Almost a given on that. Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's the last game. Beyond Good and Evil was a 2004 release. So that was a ways off for them. I don't think you see, I mean, unless it was really a tease, I don't think you see the next Assassin's Creed.
One thing I forget how long ago it was, and I don't think I've seen the game since, but like, was it Ubisoft or EA that put out that like roller derby game for free after an E3, and then like you've never heard of it again?
The-
It was like 2 years
yeah,
ago, wasn't
I think so.
it?
Yep. Those,
Uh,
they
so
also
maybe
gave us
we'll see
Hyperscape.
that. Maybe we'll see that roller derby game or
Ugh.
roller ball. Hey, you know what? That game
Look,
was silly. And look at Knockout City.
I was gonna say after Knockout City, I'm more open-minded to what I think looks like something that's gonna be silly or ridiculous. Rollerball, whatever. What was that movie a long time ago, like Christian Slater or somebody? Roller derby or rollerball, roller something. It was nuts. They like destroyed each other on the freaking court and broke bones and everything else. It was like the
Oh
hockey
yeah,
of rollerball. Remember that game? Yeah, that was movies way back. Yeah, we're old, so you guys are going to have to keep up with the old references.
awesome.
Um, oh, who we got here?
Welcome in, old man.
So
One of
he's
the
a
awesome
Twitch buddy.
gamers.
Hmm.
One of the awesome gamers there, old man Schwan58 on Twitch. I'll give him a little shout out. Thanks for stopping in, man.
All right, so Sunday, man. I mean, you know, my channel covers everything, and I try to do everything as just down the middle, consumer friendly. You know, I'm interested in just testing stuff and having fun and just showing how things run and that type of thing. But I am a huge Xbox fan. That's just the way it is. So this event, I know a lot of people yesterday on the CGX podcast were not too excited or hyped going into this event. They're really reserved of what they're going to see. You know, how are you feeling going into this event? It's about an hour and a half, and it's Xbox and Bethesda. So what do you think?
Um, oh man, they're gonna shove games down your throat. They're just gonna go game after game after game, and you're also going to get a lot of releasing on Game Pass. I think for their bigger announcements, I mean, knowing how Xbox likes to show off at E3, I'm kind of expecting some more developers joining the team, the Microsoft team, so to
You
speak.
thinking some purchases?
Yeah, it might be small indie ones, but I think you're going to see that again, you know. Although the biggest one is well known and announced, but I think they're, is going to show off a couple more at least. and just games down your throat, like you're just going to get game after game after game releasing on Game Pass, releasing on Game Pass. Like, I think one of the big, like possibly a surprise type thing will be a non-exclusive Xbox game that will take and be a Game Pass day one release. I think that's what you'll see as a little shocker there.
Right. So yeah, because this list of confirmed games, right? Sometimes there's games that just get pulled at the last minute. You don't see them, but there's also games that show up that, of course, they don't. They hide pretty well. They they try to hide from the leaks. Now, if you're just looking at this list, yeah, they're gonna rapid fire a ton of these games out, right? But Halo Infinite and Starfield, those two games, especially if they both happen to be this year, which I'm skeptical on Starfield, but that one has just got everyone's interest because that's a big Bethesda title that no one knows much of anything about. And everyone's dying to see the reveal for that. And it looks like we're going to. So, and Halo Infinite, everybody was a little upset at the original trailer. I think the gameplay looked great for a Halo game. I'm super excited to try it out. Yeah, the graphics felt a little flat for what they had going on there, but some of that's fairly easily fixed. I have a hunch the game's going to be good, though. So I think a big chunk will be Halo Infinite and Starfield.
I can't disagree with that necessarily, but I think I'd like to see, and I think we're going to see maybe a little bit of the next Forza.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think there could be a surprise. They almost have to because they didn't release a Forza last year.
It won't be like
And
a release date type thing. It'll be a teaser, but
it's a teaser.
I think you'll see something on that.
They've got to release one by next fall because that's going to be 2 years. I don't think they want to go 3. So if there's nothing coming this year, which it doesn't look like it, definitely got to do it by next fall. And rumor is it's not necessarily another track racer. It could be another long-running open-world Horizon style, but a game that's meant to live for years and get updated, kind of like an MMO. And I love that because I like the games to just continue for as many years as possible and get support for as long
look
as
at it
possible.
this way. I mean, like, look at all the gaming releases gone wrong lately. Like,
Duh.
if you can just put a game out and let it last,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Why risk a crappy release?
Well, I'll take a quick break just because there's not much question here. But this Savik Roy, he says, does GeForce Now have any chance of getting back unsupported games? They do. They get back games every now and then. It's not often. Nobody knows which ones are going to be coming back. It's mostly completely up to those developers and publishers, though. GeForce Now can always reach out and ask them to bring games, but ultimately, it's not up to them. So what I tell everybody is go hit the developers and the publishers' Twitter accounts. Go DM, go email these games that you want back and let them know that you want them on GeForce Now, because I'll tell you, they have brought games because of that before. So definitely can on there. And we've got, I agree here, Starfield is next year for sure, but they'll be showing it a bit more. It's going to be a big showcase for Bethesda and Xbox, most definitely. The question is, do they show any more cloud, though? Do they show Series X blades at all to show it off, or they want to keep that under wraps for now? Game Pass is most definitely going to have a showcase.
I don't think they want to show that off until they get the X blades in. You know what I mean? Like
ready,
yeah, like they're
close.
going to talk about it. They're going to give you a couple, by the end of this year, beginning next spring. They're going to give you something along those lines on, this is when we're shooting to upgrade our service. But I don't think you're going to see a lot just because, they want to show their better side, and
No,
right
and
now,
it makes
their better side is not xCloud. Like
right.
Unfortunately, like it sucks to say that, it hurts almost a little bit.
Sure, no, absolutely, but it's a free add-on right now. You know what I mean? And they know what they're doing. Phil Spencer, just in gaming right now, he's the man. It's just he took Xbox from almost dead and has got it to where it is. A lot of people didn't believe in Game Pass. He convinced them, and here they are, 24 million and growing, and they're going to be getting to that profitable stage. I heard rumor of Battlefield 6 coming to Game Pass day one. Now, it won't happen on PC because EA Play Pro on PC is how you're going to get Battlefield 6, and EA is not that dumb. But on console, EA doesn't offer a pro subscription. So they could put that in Game Pass if they wanted to and not really hurt themselves. They would get more players. So I could see it happening, but it would also just be like another huge grab for Game Pass. Can you imagine Battlefield 6 is $70 on PS5? And don't get me wrong, me and you love PS5. We play PS5. But if you have Game Pass, right, and you have PS5, where are you going to play Battlefield 6?
Not on the PS5, man.
And this is the genius of Game Pass right now. I'm just saying, it just is. Yes, he did say that blades are in internal testing. I'm just really curious if they're ready to show any of that gameplay yet, or if they're just going to kind of mention cloud with a big Game Pass showcase. Because I think one of the big drops at this E3 for them could be adding the Ubisoft connect the subscription to Game Pass like they have EA, which would be great. Imagine that. It was so great when EA had 80 some games added right away, and now you'll get the Ubisoft over as well, and they're not going to up our price for Game Pass yet.
You know what's funny is I actually noticed like I'm having trouble buying games right now because I've got PS Now and I've got Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So like anytime games go on sale, like I'm looking through the list like Game Pass, PS Now, Game Pass, PS Now. I can't buy a game, and it feels weird.
Yeah, no, it really does, doesn't it? You get so used to Game Pass, or like I have a subscription to Luna, or all these different things, and you change quick your mindset. And all of a sudden, like as much as I do sincerely love the PS5, and I actually think the UI is gorgeous, it feels more next gen, things like that. I look at games that hit Game Pass, and I'm like, I can't. MLB The Show was a PlayStation exclusive. It came to Xbox, which was great to begin with. I would have bought it there. I probably would have bought it on both anyway. But then Game Pass and xCloud, and I was just, that's it. That's where it's happening then. That's where I've been playing. Granted, the latency is too bad to play on xCloud. I'm not going to lie. MLB The Show, you can't hit the ball. But
I still
it's there.
gotta say, man, like it's funny to see that little PlayStation Studios thing load up when I turn my Xbox on and play MLB The Show.
It's cool, right?
Just to accent to that, I had a situation where I needed to do a little bit of gaming on the go. I couldn't do my local stuff, so I plugged my Xbox into the Ethernet cord and loaded up the app on my iPad and brought a controller along with me, and I was playing MLB The Show on my iPad through remote play, and it's hopeful, man. xCloud is very hopeful if it's going to be anything nearly as good as that experience I had with the Series S streaming to my iPad.
Right. Yeah, the game streaming works great, man. I use it all the time as well. The Series S and the Series X stream the games really well. And if that's a little taste of what the Series X blades will be like, but yet up to 4K and obviously a better network and infrastructure that they'll be using, yeah, absolutely, it's going to be great. I'm actually working on some videos trying to show, like on iPad and iPhone, Xbox game streaming versus like Stadia and GeForce Now and stuff like that, and people are going to be pretty surprised, I think, when they start seeing those kinds of comparisons. It's going to be interesting because you're seeing the full graphic capabilities of Series X. It may only be 1080 60, to your phone or to your tablet or whatever, and there may be still some bitrate issues due to your own network connection and stuff, but you're getting next gen graphics and it looks great. It runs great on all kinds of devices. So, all right, so that's Xbox. Do you have anything else for Xbox, man? I think we, I could go on. I think we're good for now.
Yeah, that's really it, man.
I do see in the schedule for Sunday, though, something you're probably more excited about than me, and that's Warner Brothers games, right? Now, I have a game, Gotham Knights, that I've got my eye on. I don't know how it's going to be yet. I definitely have my eye on it, but you also have a game that you're hoping you see, right? You would love to.
Please, I would love to see an Injustice 3 from, in that little showcase. That is a Warner Brothers game. Oh my God, I know it's NetherRealm too, and usually, the only thing I don't think you'll see it, because usually, who's the guy, Tobias? That guy, the head of NetherRealm, he always tweets teasers about the games he's making. So yeah. I don't think you'll see it, but it doesn't mean I can't hope for it.
Right. And you know what? They're also decent at spacing out their releases. So even if they had one coming, it with Gotham Knights and some other games WB's working on, I understand there's possibility of another Batman underworld. I don't know what all they're working on. I've been waiting for a good Superman game, but nobody seems to know how to make one. We can make Spider-Man, we can make Batman, but nobody can make me a good Superman game. I don't get it.
It's flying, man. It's like underwater, but in the air.
It's just do it. Somebody do it. I need Superman. That's what I've been waiting for. So yeah, definitely. I think that would be a great one, man. Injustice 3. I mean, you were even in a guild for Injustice 2, right? I mean, you were yeah. I mean, you were pretty serious with that. So
one thing that hooks me in is content, and that's one thing that I like about MLB The Show. There's tons of content in it, and Injustice 2 had tons of content, to unlock different moves or unlock different character skins. It was so well done the way they did their guild system, and the multiverse is changing every couple hours, every day. Like it just was a really well done game, and I'd love to see another one of those come out.
yeah, man, it's so much more than just a fighting game. I enjoyed those games as well. I just didn't quite. I wasn't into them as hardcore. I did enjoy them, but I knew you would be hoping for something this year on that. But we'll see. They're definitely going to throw out some Gotham Knight stuff because that's a release this year still, I think. All right, so we're going to be pushing up against our time a little bit. Now, me and Joe, we don't really have a schedule, so we can push a little late, a little early. We're going to aim for that hour mark each week, but what I think we'll do is jump into Tuesday because we did want to talk about Nintendo a little bit. We both love Nintendo. We both have Nintendo Switch and play a ton of games there. So they've always started doing their own directs and tree houses and everything. They say they're not at E3, but they're at E3. It's like the same freaking thing, just they do it a little bit differently. I'll let you open this up. What are you thinking for Nintendo and what they want to push here on Tuesday, which looks like 12 p.m. Eastern for us here?
So the big hype right now is the Switch Pro. They've been
Shouldn't have let you go first.
No,
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Apparently people have been tracking the things that Nintendo warehouses buy, and I tell you what, that's a serious job right there. I don't even know how they do that. But the Switch Pro. But honestly, I mean, as far as games, man, I'd kind of like to see them at least say they're I want to see another Mario Kart. I know that we probably won't, but I want to see not a remastered Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart 9, man, all the way. Day one. I purchased it day one.
But
Another one
other
here.
than that is, possibly, everybody keeps on every E3 since forever. I can remember everybody wants Metroid Prime 4.
Yes, you took it.
Sorry, man.
Metroid. No, you're good. It's Metroid. Yeah, Metroid Prime 4.
And I only know that because so many people I know talk about it. I've not actually played a Metroid Prime. However, everybody wants the next Prime, like the first person Metroid, it looks really cool. So if that does, if I see one on a Switch, I'm probably going to try it out.
Absolutely. It would be a perfect fit for Switch, especially if we did get the Switch Pro, right? Metroid Prime 4, I did play the other ones. It's one that they scrapped it in 2019. They didn't cancel it, but they rebooted it. Basically, they threw everything out and started over. So that's why we don't have it yet. It's still hard to tell. It could still be a couple years away. So I don't know if we'll see it, but I hope we do because it's been a while since we saw the little teaser logo. I'm hoping for a new Star Fox game. I hope you're talking about my Star Fox games, which is Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64. That's the kind of Star Fox game I want. And again, that would be a day one for me. Please give me that. Now, I played Star Fox Adventures, beat it a few times, loved it. But I want my N64 Super NES experience, but next gen or Nintendo gen, because they never really are next gen, are they?
Another thing I'm waiting to see, and I think you'll see this shortly after they get the X Blades figured out for game streaming, Xbox game streaming, is I think one day you're going to see a Game Pass app on the Switch.
Boy, that's been rumored quite a few times. And Phil always likes to have
Yeah.
his Switch up behind him on his infamous shelf of artifacts that always mean something, right? And
Hmm.
we know he wants it there, right? And Game Pass on Switch would mean xCloud on Switch, to be clear. It would be whatever games you would get in streaming, not, you wouldn't download games to the Switch and play them
Yeah, it would just
natively.
be like a portal.
It would be a portal. And, honestly, and here we go, right here. This goes with what we're talking about. More cloud games on Switch, which is great. They have Hitman, they have Control, right, on Switch that they stream from the cloud. So when you buy these, you never download them. They stream. It's the only way you can play them. But to get Game Pass or xCloud, PS Now, Luna, GeForce Now, they have such a perfect portable device. Could you imagine, especially the Switch Pro with its rumored OLED screen, Wi-Fi 6, that type of thing for connection? It would be a great cloud device, but I don't know if Nintendo's going to open it up to that.
I mean, they would probably, they would definitely sell a crap ton more consoles if they did that. But what they got to weigh out is projected numbers. Would they meet the projected numbers? I think it would be awesome to see a Game Pass portal on the Switch and a Luna portal and a Stadia portal. I think all that because it's so on the go. Like when I do play games on the go, like when I went on my honeymoon in Florida, I brought my Switch with me and I connected to the Wi-Fi. I was playing Fortnite. I was playing Smash Brothers. I think, as a matter of fact, that week was when the classic NES games came out. So I played Zelda,
Yeah,
old
man.
school. Love it. So I
Yeah,
think
that
it would be a
subscription
good
is
move.
great. They've added so many games to the NES and the Super NES side of that subscription. Again, value, right? Really good value in that subscription. Again, why I think PlayStation's going to have to lean more in that direction eventually. Do you think Nintendo gets more cloud with their own stuff and starts selling and streaming more games, or you think they stay more physical? I don't think
Um,
they do anytime soon with first party. You know what I mean? I think they stay. They like their consoles and their hardware too, but
yeah, I mean, if you see cloud games on the Switch, it's going to be because the devs want to bring it onto the
they
Switch,
bring it that way. Yeah, like
It's going to be
Control or Hitman.
Control, Hitman, it's going to be games like that actually want to see their brand on the Switch and, trust the whatever. What kind of servers are they running for that? Like, are they good?
It's It's not great. I forget the name of the company that's hosting on Switch right now. It's leaving me, but the experience is not great. Unfortunately, the games do work. I played Control and Hitman on Switch. I have videos up for them. It playable. A Control in its performance mode was fairly playable, but yeah, it's hit and miss. And Cloud is that way anyway, and that is why I do like the Switch because even though I like cloud, if you go somewhere that either doesn't have internet or for some reason cloud's just not running good for you right there or that day, the Switch still has that local ability to run your games and you can still play and stuff. So you kind of get the best of both. If they had more cloud on there, it would definitely give you more ability. So I want to talk about the Switch Pro a little bit more before we're done. These There's rumor it won't have it'll still be dockable and portable, but might not have detachable controllers. I don't know if Nintendo's going to go that direction with it. This also isn't a next gen upgrade. This is like a mid gen, so this is like going from a 1S to a 1X or something like that. You're going to get a boost. People are concerned you're not going to be able to play. There's going to be like pro exclusive games that won't run on Switch and stuff like that, like with the 3DS before. You think that's going to happen, or do you think as a mid-gen upgrade, all Switch games will run on both Switch consoles for this generation? Or do you think they'll have some?
It's definitely going to happen,
Right,
without a
especially
doubt.
right. And what leads me to that is not just first party, but third party, right? So we got some ports like Doom and stuff to Switch, but they're not great, unfortunately, but they're there. So if Switch Pro exists, devs might be able to bring some third party games to that Switch that has the more power that they couldn't bring to the other
Yeah.
Switch. So you might see more segmentation in third party, but I think first party, Nintendo is going to try to keep their games across both if they can. Wasn't Monster Hunter one of the games that you needed the advanced 3DS advanced, the more powerful one or something? You couldn't play it on. the other 3DS or something. There was like a couple
No.
games like that. It was really odd.
No, it was Super Mario World, the Super Nintendo version.
Was it? That's ridiculous.
I couldn't play it on
That's
my freaking 3DS. I had
That's
to go get a
ridiculous.
new Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't feel like they're gonna do too much of that with the Switch, but you're right too. Like third party, I think we could see that most definitely.
I think what you're going to see more so, I think what you can expect to see is that they're going to do something along the lines of maybe an N64 classic
right
on the Switch Pro.
Oh yeah, I did see something about that could be coming soon.
Like that.
People have speculated GameCube as well, but I will tell you from running a lot of emulators and things like that, the GameCube games are going to be tougher for Nintendo to get to run on the Switch the same way, but they could get there. And 64 is going to be a lot easier for them to put on there, and I think it would be a popular one. There's a ton of good N64 games that you can play on there. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would expect to see at least something exclusive to a Switch Pro. So.
Right. All right. For some reason, our names have disappeared.
And one more thing, I don't think we really went over PlayStation too much for E3. I know we're running over time a little bit, but
yeah, let's wrap up with let's throw out some PlayStation E3 stuff, and then we'll wrap.
One thing that I don't know if it's announced, I've not been following it, but I would love to see maybe some Miles Morales DLC.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely, because like 6 hours to beat that campaign, right? It wasn't super long, but it was great.
Yeah, it was an awesome game, and I'd love to get some DLC going for that. They could definitely keep it going. That would be one thing I would love to see. You're going to see God of War Ragnarok, right?
We need some gameplay.
You're going to see some more of that. So, well, wait a minute. We're not. Is PlayStation coming to E3 this year? Like,
yeah, well, they have to show that. No, they're going to have another state of play. They haven't.
They're doing the Nintendo route.
They're doing it on different schedules and stuff. It's not listed in the same thing, but they're going to have another show of some point in this time frame. Or even if they don't do a lot, you'll have developers or these other companies at E3 that will showcase games. That's why I think the Switch Pro might get announced soon, because people that are making games for that, like you said, if there's some third-party ports coming to the Pro or some exclusive content, they're going to want to be able to show that. So they might announce that. So again, with Sony, I don't know what all their plans are right now. They're going to have something else coming out. Gran Turismo 7 and God of War need a little bit of love. Ratchet & Clank's coming out next week on Friday, so we'll be checking that out. So it'll be out ahead of time, but they might have some more information or some interesting future plans for that. Honestly, for me, I'm more excited about PS Now stuff and their subscription changes and that kind of stuff, because they're a little slow right now on the releases and the exclusives and the information. It was great to see Horizon. It's great to speculate about God of War and Gran Turismo and stuff, but we're just not seeing a lot yet. PlayStation 5 isn't really on fire. To be honest, Xbox isn't either when it comes to new next-gen or exclusives, but Game Pass is carrying them through this launch. Like, Game Pass is making these consoles more worth it and carrying them through the launch more than PlayStation. Now, granted, you can't get either console, right? So they're both selling out. But game-wise and content-wise, I don't feel like there's a lot there I'm waiting for. I'm really waiting for them to show me what's coming.
Yeah, no, you're gonna. They got to make some moves with PS Now. They absolutely have to. And if they can get a jump on xCloud, hey, why not? Why not try to beat them to the punch on that part? But you're going to also have to have the library, or at least let people buy the games and play them on the service.
Content. And also, I've noticed a lot of people that are going to cloud game, they want the subscription model with the option to buy. And that makes perfect sense. And I think that is a really important thing going forward. But I think Xbox is going to get there first, because Phil Spencer's already said when he launches out of beta and they're on Series X blades, he wants not only all the exclusives in the cloud and certain games, every game you purchase to be playable in the cloud for you. And as soon as that happens, as soon as you are part of Game Pass and you get xCloud and you can also purchase, and any purchase is playable from the cloud, Xbox is really on top. But if Sony does the same thing, they've got the exclusives. You're looking at two giants that all of a sudden are on top of cloud, bringing eyes to cloud, and you'll see all of cloud grow because of it. But I think we need companies like Sony, PlayStation and Xbox to get into cloud to get more people in, because they got the player bases, they got the eyes.
Yeah, and once they get more people into it, more people will explore their options as well, So
That's
if they're not enjoying their experience, but they like the idea of cloud gaming, you know, maybe they're going to start looking into it. And
yeah.
at that point, they're going to stumble on some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Because, while cloud gaming is still, coming out of the gate and getting started, everybody's starting to embrace it. And really by 2023, they're talking about cloud gaming being worth like $4 billion as a business and a whole. So these companies are definitely racing to get their hand into that pot of money for sure. Because gaming is the largest form of entertainment on the planet right now. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up, man. It was fun. We had our Dying Light and Horizon and a little bit of cloud there, and it was fun to go over, what we're thinking about for E3. I can't wait till next weekend because our next podcast is going to be after the first 2 days of E3. We're going to be right in the middle, and Xbox is going to have gone, and Ubisoft and all that. So we'll have a ton to talk about next Sunday night as well. So
can't wait.
Yeah, man, give a little plug action because I know you're going to be streaming. Do you know when you're going to be streaming again, or let them know what's up? I'll put links in the description too. So
right now, I can't necessarily make my my next stream schedule yet, but what I'm planning on is about Monday evening, I'll be tweeting out when I'll be having my first affiliate stream. I hit affiliate and just stopped.
Nice. Well, yeah, and you had some things in life, so but you'll be back.
But
next week.
My Twitter at JoJoNarok. I post. I generally will post what I got going on for the week on there. Once I get some things settled down in IRL here, you're going to see some more pop-up streams. I also want to start dabbling a little bit in YouTube, doing a little bit of getting into that a little bit. Just expanding and whatnot. But the Twitter, at JoJo Narok, Twitch, JoJo Narok on Twitch. I don't stream specific type of games. I do mostly do local. I will be throwing in a little bit of cloud here and there, just to mix it up. But just a variety of games,
Nice.
Nothing specific.
Good stuff. All right, man. Yeah, and you guys know me. Sharing my screen again. Game Tech Planet, at Game Tech Planet on Twitter and on YouTube, everything for console, cloud, and PC. And we'll see you guys next week, Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern, God willing. We will be here, and we'll be partway through E3, so super looking forward to it. Thanks to everybody that joined and everybody that watches later. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.